All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. This is the July edition after several months of no broadcasts. So thank you for sticking with us and joining us again. Very excited to have Enrico Sada again today, talking about the current state of .NET Core 1.0 and F#. He'll be doing a quick start, showing how you can convert existing projects and libraries to using netstandard, .NET Core, those types of things. So excited to have him. And also want to congratulate Enrico. He's now a Microsoft MVP. So congratulations to you for all your hard work, and thank you for keeping us, the F# community, up on the .NET Core things.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. So I'm going to start with first a summary of .NET Core and .NET Core SDK, and after do a bit quick start of everything you need to know to use the .NET Core SDK and to create cross-platform application. And after that, we are going to convert fscheck to just add the support for .NET Core to the current package. So that's the first link you need to know if you need to tell someone where is hp.net, where you can download your installer for Windows and every supported platform. There are two different kind of installers. There are installers, so MSI on Windows, package on OS X, and package on Linux, or you can just download the binaries. So this is real. Just use this link. It's small, but it's more powerful because there are both the installers for the SDK and the package for the SDK. What's the difference between SDK and .NET Core? So .NET Core is the sum of Core CLR, Basic library, and hosting in each platform, so it can run cross-platform. And the SDK is just the command you can run to compile, build, publish for .NET Core and other target platform. That's using at the moment the project JSON as file format, but it's going to change to MS Build in next months. It's not really an issue because the MS Build is going to be smaller, I think, but the SDK is going to remain the same. So you have the same commands, just change the project format. So it's more can be used more easy from the other Visual Studio and all the extension. So the .NET Standard library, it's one of the new core. Okay, sorry. If you need the documentation, there is the new documentation of the .NET Core. You can just see there the documentation, and there is a lot of getting started and a lot of info about everything. Some of just with it's open source, so we can just edit. So if someone wants to contribute to F#, it's nice. So we can just add more information. But inside there is also the .NET Standard and .NET Core examples. What's the difference? .NET Standard, I think we can just use one single Okay, when the .NET runtime behavior, the core CLR is an ECMA standard, but the base class library, that means the whole system, system data, system IO, it's not specified anywhere. So they're trying to do that with .NET standard. So both mono. Yes.
Quick question: Were you planning to share your screen?
Sorry.
Were you wanting to share your screen? Right now, I see you on the video feed.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Okay, that's why. Okay, as usual. Entire screen. Okay, sorry everyone. So a recap. This is the site for download the .NET Core. This is the link where you can download installers or binaries for every supported OS. It's really nice. And there are the documentation. You can just go with the documentation. Sorry. You can do documentation. You can see F# documentation, .NET Standard documentation, and .NET Core. So, as I said, the .NET Standard is the specification of the base class library. So Mono, .NET Full, and .NET Core you can expect the same API, the same surface API, and the same behavior. So just creating one package with support .NET Standard, it can run on the 3 implementation, Mono, .NET Full, and .NET Core. At the moment, it's really nice, the .NET Core part, because that's where the cross-platform development is happening. About the .NET Core, it's going to change a bit. So we are at preview 2 at the moment. And in August, there is going to be a refresh of just a fix for us, practically. And because the template at the moment doesn't work, but F# works, it's just the templates. And because the .NET Standards is a work in progress, it's going to be adding more and more API set, and it's going to be to have the same API set in the next months as the .NET Core. So it's easier to convert one project to .NET Standard. At the moment, it's just the same experience with the portable profile, where you don't have the same API, or some API is a bit changed, but everything can be just modified and it's not really that different at the moment. So usually it's really small fixes and or different stuff not supported anymore. So you need to change a bit your code, but not much. The .NET Core instead, as I said before, is just the base class library, the core CLR, and the .NET SDK. There are tutorials, information about frameworks, how to deploy, how to unit test, everything you need to know. So I'm just doing a quick tutorial about everything there is there. So it's more a workshop and a hands-on lab instead of reading this documentation. But it's really good. So if you can, try to run it. At the moment, for F#, the central point for .NET Core and .NET integration with .NET Core SDK is this repository, .NET Core FSC. There is a wiki where you can see FAQ and other info. I think it's going to be easier to modify soon. And there is also the working template for preview 2, so for console and lib. So you can just Xcopy these 2 files, and you have your templates. Now, let's start with a simple, this is later. Let's start with a simple tutorial. So, first off, after you installed the .NET, it's really easy. And It's installed somewhere. It can be installed parallel, side by side. You can have multiple installations side by side. It just need to be in the path environment variable, so it's used. So if I change the environment variable path to use this version, this is where you can see the version of .NET SDK, more information. .NET means info is really nice if you need to send bug report, for example. Or if you want to change your SDK, it's just so you can use different SDK side by side. You don't need to install anything machine-wide if you want, just add to path. So it's really easy. From the website, you just download, downloads. You can just download the binaries. You unzip the binaries and add to path. That's it. No, you cannot create problem with your machine, so it's really easy. Now, let's create. Let's reset the. Okay. So as I said, the templates, the working templates are in this directory at the moment. The .NET SDK support multiple commands. One of these commands is .NET New, who is a scaffold for a project. But at the moment, in the current preview 2, doesn't work with F#. It's going to be fixed in August with the next minor version. You can just copy your files from these templates locally, and you have it. These templates works and are going to be supported next time when you have issues. So there are where you need it. I have done. I have an helper script to create this file, to copy this file. That's for me. So it's on GitHub if you need it, but it's really just copying these files. So there are two files, project.json and program.fsl. The script file is as usual, so it's not really that different. The project.json file is the project system. To specify what are the files, what are the dependencies. For example, we depend on the F# core package and .NET Core App package with the package for meta package for console app. So first, you need to restore package. That's going to create a project log.json file who contains all the dependencies. It's just a temporary file. It's not a log file like Packet. So you should ignore it in your. You should ignore it from your git ignore because it's useless. Change every time you do .NET restore if the dependency are changed. So it's not really. It's really big. So it's required, but it's just like a temporary files. As I said, .NET is the starting point for all the SDK. After restore, we can just build. Build, it's going to call the F# compiler and create the assemblies. So it's going to create, as usual, bin debug and target framework, because Project JSON support multiple framework in the same project, but one each time is okay. And that's your compiled hello world. Your hello world, there is no executable because in .NET Core there are no exec. Your main file, your main is inside this DLL, and you can just run it. Hello world, that's it. What's doing hello world? .NET has an option in the variables. You can put that before the command, work for every command, and it's going to give you more info about what's happening. For example, running .NET run is just the executable .NET exec your DLL. You can also run, if you have a portable application compiled, you can just run it like that. .NET accept as parameter also your compiled console app, so you can just run it. If you xcopy this directory somewhere, if you want to xcopy your application somewhere, you can just do .NET publish. That's going to create another directory, publish, who contains everything you need to xcopy your application in another machine with .NET installed. It's not a standalone application at the moment, but if you have .NET SDK installed, you can just copy these files. It's not much, really, and run it. So you can just run your in another machine, run it. That's it. That's it. If you want to create a completely independent standalone application, you can, in the documentation, it's this scenario, deploying. There are two different scenarios. Portable application, that's what we have seen before, and self-contained application. So if you want to create a self-contained application, for example, you want to compile an application, a copy to OS X, you need to change a bit your project JSON file. So, sorry, I have some helper methods. First, you need to change your dependencies and add these 3 dependencies. Everything I say is inside this document, so it's not really a problem. So you need to change your dependencies like that and remove the .NET Core application because it's not needed anymore. That's useful only for portable application, not for self-contained application. And we are just replacing .NET Core app meta package with .NET standard library because it's smaller. So you can just remove the dependencies. That's it. Okay. And you need to add the runtimes where you want to deploy. So, runtimes. For example, if I want to deploy for Win10 and OS X, I just need to add the runtimes. Okay. Now I need to restore. So to download everything, every package you need to. When you change project JSON, usually you need to .NET restore if you change dependencies. Now, if I do .NET publish, okay, by default, every command work for every platform. So .NET publish work for current platform. We have compiled. Okay. Sorry. This is your hello world is an executable for Windows. That's your DLL, and there is everything you need. So core CLR, all the MSR core lib, and all the assemblies of base class libraries. So you can just and that's it. You can Xcopy this directory in every Windows and it's going to work. It doesn't need .NET Core SDK installed. That's why it's self-contained. I can just, I can also publish for other runtimes. For example, OS X. Yep. What's my runtimes? Let's forget. Okay. That's going to create another directory who contains everything you need to Xcopy deploy your application in OS X without the .NET Core SDK installed. So it's nice, for example, if you want to just create a Docker file with all everything, but without the SDK. As we can see, there is no exe. It's the hello. And there is everything OS X need for run it. Usually some are the same, but there are also packages who are different for different runtimes. For example, cryptography usually to make it faster and other stuff. So that's where you can just create a console app and publish for Xcopy deploy. Now, we can just create a package if you want. .NET Pack, it's going to create, sorry, let me create another application. For example, a library. The library is the same. Just have as dependency the netstandard library package and F# core. That's it. So, as usual, .NET restore. Now, each command of .NET SDK try to be are just marked. So if .NET run required a rebuild of the project, it's going to do so. So if .NET Pack require the build, it's going to do it. So .NET Pack, it's going to create a package, a NuGet package, ready for use it. that's creating this directory, bin debug. The NuGet package, as usually, is just a zip file who contains the NASPEC with dependencies for .NET Standard, which depends on standard library and Sharp core. And the lib directory contains the assembly for .NET Standard. And that's it. There is another command really useful for .NET test we added last time. It's .NET test. Let's create a test and unit test project. As usual, a project file is just a library who depends on the Sharp core and unit. .NET test in unit is the integration between .NET SDK and unit. And for example, no library for us. And that's it. So the test file is just simple, and we can just .NET test. This error is because I didn't do .NET restore. Okay, .NET test. That's going to compile to build our application and test it. So one test passed, and that's going to work for everything. XU, for example, XUnit. Oh, sorry. In the templates, I have a project reference to another project because usually you reference another project for testing. And that's going to test with XUnit. The really good part is there is nothing installed in my machine about XUnit or NUnit. It's just downloaded. For example, this is the SDK. It just contains the C# compiler because they have it inside. And some NuGet, for example, the .NET exe, and just the .NET executable. And that's it. Everything else is inside that NuGet package. Also, the C# compiler is inside the NuGet package. And that's nice because we can just upgrade the C# compiler, just changing our project JSON files. How that's done? That's done because the .NET SDK is extensible. How? Two ways. First, like Git, you just create a command named .NET minus your command name, for example, .NET create. And if this command is in path, you can just do .NET create instead of and that's it. It's the same. That's the first if you need some machine-wide help tools. Or you can just create tools inside the project JSON file. An example. net say hi, say ciao. Okay, say ciao. A .NET tool is just a console application, so as usual. Let's change a bit. Let's change a bit the program FS. Now, as usual, .NET Restore and .NET Pack to create just a package. You can host this package on Nugget, on your feed, or locally. It's not important. What's important is here, use P. Let's use this package. How? Create lib, for example. In the tools subsection of project.json, you just add your say ciao, and you can restrict the version if you want or not. Depends. Save. I'm going to restore from this directory because I don't want to host it in a dev feed. So I'm going to just use the -f argument to restore from local. That's going to install your tool. That's it. That's really easy. You can every project.json can use different tools, different version, because the tools only work inside the directory. So, and that's it. Yep. And that's it. That's how do you create a tool. The .NEL compile FSC is just a tool. That's the tool used for integration between SDK and C# compiler. And there are a lot of other tools you can use, and you can create yours. It's really nice because you don't need to have a bootstrapper. So in a normal project where you have some tools you want to use for documentation, publish, maybe packet or fake, what you need. You don't need anymore the bootstrapping part. So you don't need anymore this part, because the .NET SDK is going to download it when needed and use it. And that's really nice, I think. A lot of stuff are extended by this mechanism, and like the C# compiler. Or other, for example, ASP.NET Core, it's using a tool for reload the project when source change. Or you can use to for resource file, for example. Or there are some, and you can create it with, as we've seen, with it just need to be a portable application. So it can be a C# application, everything. What do you want? You can use that as a tool. Okay. For example, the .NET Test is a tool. It's a special tool, but it's a tool. And there are a lot of different use for each scenario. Now, So let me check. Okay, publish. Okay. Now let's be a status of what works and what not. So at the moment, debugging doesn't work. That's it. Sorry. Debugging doesn't work. Visual Studio Code works with some workaround. If you build the project locally before open Visual Studio Code, should work. FSI works in the F# repository, but it's a bit complicated to run it. So if you need it, you can run it, but it's a bit complicated. Type providers works, but generative type providers doesn't work at the moment. Generative. The templates usually is done with .NET New. Usually is like that. New. Oops. Usually the experience is like that. But that's going to create a wrong template, so don't use it until next patch of .NET SDK. But it's okay for C#, for example, for example, for C#. If you need to create C# application, just do .NET New, it's going to work. And okay. NUnit, XUnit both works with F# and C# with .NET Test, or just from, for example, with NUnit Lite of NUnit, or you just can use .NET Test. The part about .NET Test is because it's going to be an host for IDEs, ID editors, so they can just it's easier. It can be used as an agent. So the test runner called .NET Test with an HTTP API, I think. Publish works for every platform, and every platform is supported and works F#. Xproj. So if you want to use inside Visual Studio, that's going to work, but IntelliSense doesn't work. So if you have a console application, and you add a Xproj file, okay, it's just the MS Build project file for Visual Studio. So you can just file new project. Sorry. Let's create a C# console application, for example. If someone needs it, there are templates for F# inside Visual Studio and .NET Core, but okay. That's an Xproj. That's nice because you can just, it's going to, for example, do automatically the .NET restore for us, like Visual Studio Code. And you can add your Xproj. Let me rename it before. Xcompile. Okay. Add existing project. text.j, you can see the references that are going to be restored from Visual Studio or from that usually works. Okay, now it's restored. You can see all the references there. That's nice. You can explode. So, for example, the netstandard library is just this package, because the base class library it's a multiple package. So system I/O, system compression, system link, and everything depends on other packages or contains just an assembly. And that's it. So inside the IntelliSense just doesn't work right because the F# language service doesn't understand the dependencies, but usually the test and the build works. You can just run it. The debugging doesn't work, but you can compile, you can reference that from another project, I think, and you can run it. Oh, sorry. Set a start project, and we can just run it, because that's going just to run .NET run. So it's nice. IntelliSense sort of work, but if you add the different packages, it doesn't work. So it's like that at the moment. Xproj and Project JSON, it's going to be migrated in the next month to use MS Build. So that's not really a problem at the moment. Now, let's convert an existing project. So let's convert fscheck. fscheck is a normal fake packet F# library with multiple projects and a test library. So first stuff to do is we need to create the project JSON file. So let's move in the where is the F# fsproj, and let's create a library. This is a library, so let's create a library. This is an helper method to copy just the project JSON file. Okay. Now we need to check what files, source files use. So fscheck fsproj. These are the files used by fscheck. So the compile. We are going to copy this list and copy this list inside project JSON file in include files. It's a JSON. So and I'm going to write a checklist how to convert each project. So just follow the follow these steps. So we need to add the compile files. If we need also to add the compiler defines if we have it, and additional dependencies. Let's see. This project doesn't have references. I can just check doesn't use additional, just use F# core. So let's try to build it. Now, .NET Restore. .NET build. That's trying to compile for .NET Standard 1.6. Okay, now the API of the surface API of the standard is like portable profile. It's a bit different. We need to work around. So, for example, let's use code because it's really better. I don't care about all files. I need only arbitrary fs. Line. No choice. Okay, like portable profiles, net standard doesn't support. So there is a workaround for portable classes, so it's okay usually. Or you need to check the .NET Core migration. Okay, let's see. This problem is okay. That's because the method get cultures is not supported. So fs check already added a workaround for all the culture names. Okay, now this one. Okay, portable class library doesn't support this class. The standard just doesn't support this one and this one, so we can just add an if-def. This define is added by default, but .NET build because you are compiling for .NET net standard. So, or you can just add your core CLR define as you wish. If let's do like that. Okay, we don't care about. For the standard, we cannot use this class. Going to rebuild. Okay, the library is compiled in bin debug net standard. There is our DLL compiled for the .NET Core. Let's do another project. Let's check this unit. Same. It's a lib. Just copy a project JSON file of a library. Let's see what files, compile file are used. Just two. Okay. Okay. There is a packet reference, so probably there are additional references. This is the package needed by fs check unit. Let's see if exists a net standard version. So it's easier to go to nugget.org and search for package. That's it. There is a pre-release version for who support .NET Core. You can see that there, netstandard library. So just let's use this version. Okay. Okay. That's it. Okay. JSON file. So check your comma. Net restore. .NET build. Let's see if there are issues with Surface API or not. Lots. Okay. That's because this FSProj has a project reference to FSCheck. You can add project reference also with F# with project JSON. That's easy. Let's just say FSCheck is a sorry. When you don't remember the syntax of project JSON file, just use code because there is IntelliSense, so it's easier. Target exists. Okay, project. Exactly what I want. There you can see there are, if you want to add a define, for example, is like that. Nothing fancy, is an array. So okay, .NET restore because we changed the dependencies. .NET build. Let's retry. Okay, that's it. FSCheck is okay. Now, the test. Test FSCheck is a library. It's really a manual process. If someone wants just to create something who read XML and write these files, it's really easier for everyone. So, no, sorry. I need an example. It's using XUnit. Okay, so let's create. Let's use a project JSON who's ready for XUnit. Okay. That's going to use everything we need. That's where I need to say what's my library under test in FSCheck unit and the test file. At the moment, I can just let's see what are the files. Okay. Let's start with the first two, for example. I don't need this anymore. Later this one. Okay. Okay, so let's try to build it. As usual, .NET Restore. Now, .NET Restore cannot restore this project. Why? .NET Restore search in sibling directories. If you need to have a more complicated directory structure, you just need to add a global JSON file. Global JSON file is really, it's just saying where are the directory who contains the projects. So source and tests. By default is source. So that's the default if you don't have global JSON. Otherwise is, or maybe it's the default, but doesn't care. I can just do .NET Restore. It's going to restore 3 projects: unit, project, and test. Now he understands right the project-to-project references. Two minutes. Okay. Okay, let's try .NET Test. If you have an issue with build, it's just using a response file. So in the object directory, you can see all the argument passed to F# compiler. That's it. So you can debug, you can just rerun it if you want, just changing and rerunning the same command. Okay. .NET Test is okay. 2 tests was run and was okay. Were okay. Okay. This one doesn't need. Let's add another one. For example, property.fs .NET Test. I changed only files, so I don't need restore. And that's it. More test passed. If you want, you can have your XML file with all the test details. And that's it. Also, now, but our we are doing that because we just want to add to an existing project the .NET Core support. So what are we going to do? We are going to merge the package built from Fake. I already built our project with Fake. I have not. Okay. Build. I'm a bit late, so I'm going to cheat a bit. I'm going to move a bit faster. Okay, sorry, it's a lot late. So I'm going to show you with diff what are we going to do. So we were there. So we added the property file to test. And we have a project with test building and testing. So it's okay at the moment. We need to create a package with .NET Pack and merge the package. So first, we are going to fix the package version inside project.json file to use the version used by fscheck. After, we are going to add a tool. That's a .NET tool I created to merge two packages. It's going to merge only assemblies and dependencies, nothing else. So no metadata like authors or summary, only assembly and dependencies. And we are going to add this tool to fscheck and fscheck unit. Now, we just want to add to fake the build. So that there is easier. So let's see. That is the what are we going to add to fake? We are going to build with netcore and create a package. We are going to add the run of test if the .NET Core is installed. And we are going to merge the packages. How? Running the same command we have run from command line. So build is .NET Restore and .NET Pack of fscheck and fscheck unit. Running the test is just .NET test. We are doing that in release configuration because it's a build script. And the merge of packages is just using .NET merge. So .NET merge new package from our package to the other package built with fake. That's it. It's just a command line tool for merge packages. It's just this line, really. It's going to open the XML, the zip file of Nugget, and copy the assemblies there. After that, you need to configure Upveyor and Travis, usually. Upveyor has already installed by default in this build worker image the .NET Core Preview 2, so you don't need to do anything. You have already the .NET Core Preview 2 installed if you use this build worker image. With Travis, you need to install. How? It's just like install .NET Core SDK from packages, from binaries. So for Linux and OS X, we are going to download the tar file with .NET SDK. And so we are going to download the tar file, unzip, and add to path. Like that, the .NET Core is in path, so .NET as command works. And we can just use the fake script to build it. Or we can just run the command as usual, so .NET Restore, .NET Pack, and that's it. You don't need, you can just use the .NET SDK if you want. For example, sorry. Example, that's my .NET Merge new package. It's just a normal console app with a project.json file and two scripts. Really, it's a console app. Nothing fancy. And the build script is just I didn't commit the build script. Nice. fs4j, fs-surgeon. That's another. and you can just use the command you want to create the console app. So you can use fake, or you can use directly the .NET SDK command. Stefan Forky is updating now the fake to add helper method. So you can see this in Argo. I don't know where is Argo. There, I think. They are going to update the fake script to use the new fake helpers to build, but it's really the same. Build, run test, it's going to run .NET test, and add .NET Core. It's the same with an helper method to update the version, so it's you don't need to manually update the project JSON file version. I'm going to write to post in the wiki of a checklist how to convert a project. So you can just follow this checklist to convert every project you want. And the result is you have a Nugget package with inside the .NET Core version. You don't need to use .NET Core for anything else. When you have it, you can just run fake as usual, and you have inside your package the .NET Core. So it can be used from other libraries who need it. And that's it. Sorry if I was fast in the end, but I have no time. And that's it, Ryan.
Well, thank you, sir. That was really good. I don't see any questions, but I imagine that people will be able to respond in comments on the YouTube feed whenever this is made available, which it should be very shortly. I'll post the link as soon as it's available onto Twitter.
Okay.
And what's the best way to reach you if people do have questions or want to ask for additional help on, if they get stuck on something?
If you want to make question, there is a Slack, the Slack channel in the Slack channel of f#org, where you can. There is the .NET Core channel, where you can ask if you have issues, or you can write your issue there. When you need to write bug report, for example, just follow this guideline. So if the F# compiler crash or there is an error, post on Visual F# repo. Otherwise, this repo is okay. If you see the same bug with C#, maybe can happen. You can just post on .NET CLI. That's the repository for .NET Core SDK. And if someone want to help, there are a lot of stuff we can do with .NET Core to help make it easier the migration, or make other projects support the .NET Core. Just that.
Okay, and you had mentioned before we started today about the lack of projects available to .NET Core is actually making it difficult for people to actually start building anything in .NET Core. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. For example, we were skipping the FS check test, some tests, because it needed unquote. So until unquote is converted, add support for netstandard, it's difficult. You can include your portable application. If you have a library with a portable application, it can be already referenced by .NET Core. It can be used. The problem is unquote reference F# core in the GAC, so doesn't work. So we cannot use it until there is a package who support F# core package. as portable class library or netstandard. And pretty much that's it.
Okay. Is there do you know of a list of projects that would be maybe a prioritized list or just a list of projects that would be good to start to get help porting over so that other projects could be migrated to .NET Core as well?
Well, usually there is not real need for the build part. For example, Packet, they are converting it and fake, and that's going to be good. But we need the project used, for example, unquote, or test libraries, or for example, Argo is one who are adding support soon. Suave is already ready for .NET Core. And when you have a package ready, you can run it in every platform. So there is no issue at all with .NET. There are issues, but run on every platform. And so if you see something, just start to convert your dependencies if you can. That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you again, sir. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to catching up with you again soon. For those who didn't see the tweet that went out a little earlier, Enrico will be joining us again in 2 weeks to cover the status of ASP.NET Core and F#. So we'll get a look at the web stack as well, although so far we've been looking more at CLI libraries and executables and those types of things. So we'll get a chance to look at the state of the web with F# and .NET Core.
Okay.
Specifically ASP.NET Core in a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.